and hope you guys got some food in your stomach. I want to talk to you tonight. I'm very blessed to actually have some phenomenal leadership, some of the best people I've ever worked with here tonight to give you their little piece of our presentation. The key is we want to try to simplify it for you. We are recording this tonight so that you'll be able to give it out to people so we can spread the message. For me, the message is simple. It's about protection. It's about multiple income streams. It's about empowering you so that no single job, no single investment, no single opportunity can cause you harm, if you will. Hi, how you doing? And it really sort of starts with my story. You know, back in 2005, I was running a large organization, had 40,000 members, with a company that I won't name, Prepaid Legal. And they sent me a poorly worded letter in November of that year, telling me that they were changing the compensation plan and they had to put me on, a 90-day probation for the benefit of the stockholders. And it wasn't just me; it was me and about 300 to 600 other people. The numbers vary based on who you talk to. 2 days later, I got a congratulations letter for being platinum, which is a big thing in that company. So it's funny, one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing. Anyway, when that happened, and you're asked to go from almost 15, 20,000 a month down to 4,000 a month for a period of 90 days unilaterally with no discussion, I realized I couldn't leave my family unprotected again. So back as early as that, I started on a process of trying to build, not only for myself, but other people, an opportunity for people to experience multiple income streams. I broke out and have done a couple of businesses and currently run a couple of streams, but really to be able to simplify it down so the masses could do it was really my goal. Well, simultaneously, or maybe even a little before me, one of our founding members, Pastor Groom and his wife, were actually doing something very similar, trying to create a multiple income streams concept. So less than 6 months ago, I got a call from a gentleman who was asking me, "Hey, look, we're thinking about doing this project. Would you be interested in listening?" And while I was listening to him tell me about his multiple income stream concept, I was reading on my board Ecclesiastes 11:2,
I heard that.
which is invest in 7 ventures, yes and 8, for you don't know what disaster comes upon the land. So I thought, coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous, right? And I decided I was going to start with him, and then I found out the Brooms were involved, and we got really, really excited. So we started For Eden with the idea that we were going to shift it around rather than have the companies control what they did to the distributors, because a lot of distributors that are mistreated in the industry.
Yes, they are.
They get their checks grabbed, and they just really can't fight back. Matter of fact, one of my friends who lives in the Philippines now is taking on a local company here called Jeunesse, and he's got a $5 million lawsuit against him because he brought in arguably the entire United States leg right now that's causing Jeunesse to tap on the $1 billion door. Wow. His name's Matt Nessler, and he doesn't care if I tell you, it's all public record. And I've asked to be sign an affidavit and be a witness, and I'll be there. And the reason, because what they did to him was he brought in all the heat, he brought in the power, he brought in the people that are building that company, and they said, "Thank you, we will take that position, we will get no money."
Wow. Wow.
Now, you don't have the power to fight back. You can read about it, Jeunesse versus Matt Nessler, if you want to read about it on Facebook tonight. So the point is we at For Eden have the concept that we bring a lot of heat. The paradigm shift is changing now, where people are realizing distributors are what are contributing to these companies' coffers. As a matter of fact, without distributors, what do companies have? They got a product they can try to sell on TV, they can try to do infomercials, but without the distributorship, they have nothing. And matter of fact, real quick on For Eden's history, because we've already experienced some of the bumps.
That's okay.
We've already experienced it. We're the first company we came in, their comp plan was a lie. They had one thing on paper, but when it went to get paid, some of you may have experienced, some of you have been probably in that company, first 40 or so that we put into that company. And even the owner and master distributor was telling us, "Hey, it's right there in writing." And guess what?
It wasn't.
It wasn't in writing. So guess what we did? They got the boot. See, what the community is ultimately is it's a protection mechanism to put you in multiple income streams, specifically 4, hence the name For Eden, the four rivers coming out of the Garden of Eden. And that's our concept. And right now, many of you are already in company number 1. We go into phase 2 next month. We'll put you in company number 2, and we got some exciting things in the works for company 3. What it allows us to do is, as we grow, we gain more and more power when we come to a company and say, hey, listen, I got 1,000 distributors for you. What would you like to do for our membership? Matter of fact, our second company's already agreed to do some things that they normally only do for leaders, which we discussed last week. So tonight, I don't want to talk too much. I probably already talked too much, but I want to give you a real good, since we're on film here, a real good idea what it's about. Our leadership, the community's birth of a group of leaders, pastors, doctors, and sales professionals. And Kisser, if I go like this, could you hit the down arrow?
Sure.
Go ahead. And we've already talked about the name For Eden, the four rivers. You know, if you ever listen to, how many people here have heard of Bishop T.D. Jakes? Mm-hmm. Yeah, go Google Four Rivers, Bishop T.D. Jakes, and you'll see an incredible sermon he does about this. Maximizing all your streams is what he titles it. Go ahead. So our mission is to empower people to show every family and community the simplest way to reach financial security, and our vision is to develop communities and reach out to everyone looking for a positive change and freedom in their life. So tonight we have a couple phenomenal speakers. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the challenges in the economy real briefly, and then I call him our message man, although he's so humble he doesn't want to be coined that way. Pastor Broom is going to show you exactly what you want to do to build this. And if you just listen to what he says and do what he says, your life will be a whole lot simpler. You don't want to complicate it. And then we're going to wrap up with his incredible wife, the numbers lady, who's going to show you what this all means financially. So go ahead, next slide. And what I'd like to do is bring up a good friend of mine. He's going to talk a little bit about our systematic plan of bringing 4 people in, and then a little bit about the economy. He's a gentleman I've worked with for many, many years. You know, he's a father, a family man, an ex-Marine, just an incredible person. Also an incredible builder. He's built teams into the thousands multiple times from scratch. He has connections that amaze me sometimes. As a matter of fact, we were on the phone with the CEO the other night, and the CEO's, I'm meeting with this Hispanic leader in California. He's incredible. And Lewis is like, oh, really? What? Lewis had talked to him 2 days earlier. So it's funny, you know. He's got the connections, and he's also got the juice to do it. So without further ado, let me bring up Mr. Lewis Cruz.
Well, with that introduction, I think I'm just going to sit down and just, I'm just going to take a few minutes and just share with you my view from a network marketer, from a entrepreneur that has been in this industry for about 15 years, right? You know, as Chris said, actually, who has been in network marketing before? Who has, home-based business? Most, right? Most of us have, right? For Eden was built, honestly, to find a simple solution to a difficulty that's affecting every one of us. It doesn't matter if you have a job, it doesn't matter if you're building a business, it doesn't matter what you're doing, there's a difficulty that's affecting every one of us, okay? Go ahead and... There you go. All right, so why was For Eden really created? If we look at the average working in the U.S., and this is a study done in 2014, where the Census Bureau of the U.S. dictated that the monthly average income in the U.S. is $2,224, while the monthly expenses are $250. I mean, those numbers are a little bit backwards, right? Yeah. So this is why you see that the average family, they need to have 2 to 3 people working in a family to actually sustain a family financially. How many of us as adults have sustained 1, 2, sometimes even 3 jobs just to really, find that quote unquote financial stability, right? And everybody says financial stability. If I have a job, then I'm financial. That's financial stability. And the reality is other. That's absolutely other. But how about if if you go and you believe that going to college and and studying and having this college degree is the solution to having a really good paying job. That's not a truth anymore. It is not. It is not when you have over 50% of college kids that graduate, over 50% of them can't find a job. And the other 50% that actually find a job, over half of those are working in a job that does not relate to what they study, and actually they don't need even a college degree to do that. So it's actually, there's a situation, there's a difficulty when we keep on relating having a good college, education to related to a good paying job. See, a good college education is fantastic. It's really, really good, and it's a necessity for personal development, but not really, when you're related to a good paying job. But how about for some of us, actually from all of us that are here tonight, that have understood that difficulty and have gone out and built a home-based business, right? How many of you have built a home-based business, right? Well, there's a difficulty there too. A home-based business industry, sales, network marketing, it is an industry that is over $90 billion.
Wow.
It's a global industry where 150,000 people join it every single week. Last year alone, there opened over 2,000 companies.
Wow.
So it's so difficult right now to focus one team, your sales team, into one company. How many of you have your neighbor, your family, and your friends come back to you this week or this month? Hey, listen, join this company because this is it. And you tell them, hey, but I thought you were doing that other company for a month. Oh, well, that didn't work.
Right.
This is it. Here's where I'm gonna earn the $1 million. You need to join me on this one, right? And that keeps them going, where people keep on jumping from one company to the other, to the other, to the other. And yes, you need to commit to a company to have success. But when there's so many of it, it is so difficult for people like us and many of us that commit and focus and want to have success. It's so difficult to maintain the focus of everyone into one company.
Right.
When they get bombarded every single day with a new shiny company, right? That it has, it's the better company, it's a better product with better ingredients and better compensation, better leadership, until something else pops up.
Right.
Right. And that is a difficulty. And finally, we have a major difficulty with this for the people that focus and commit for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Chris committed 7 years. I committed to 3 years to a company. Build in excess of 15,000 people, and they decide just to sell the company. Right? Let's just sell the company because it's just that's my decision. I'm the owner of the company, so I'm going to sell the company. How about the people that have actually been in companies and have built an organization of 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 people, right? And the company decides to change the company, or the upline leader decides to jump into another company and takes all your people. It is devastating to actually build something, commit to something for many years, and see it gone overnight. Well, how about the person that's worked for 5, 10, 15 years? I know somebody that worked for 25 years, having a job for 25 years, going to that, to that job for 40 hours a week for 25 years, overnight you get laid off. So that is a difficulty. The difficulty is that leaning against one income stream, it is no longer the thing to do, So if this is a reality, how can we be successful in this economy? Warren Buffett, he cannot say it, best. Never depend on a single income stream. Make investment in other projects in order to make, a second source and a third source and a fourth source, right? So this is what For Eden is. For Eden comes in to give you a concept, an idea, a concept that will make it simple for you and everyone that joins to create multiple income streams. And that's who we are. We as a community will offer you a concept that will make that will help you find a simple solution for your economic career. It's what for you to do. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring. He doesn't want to be called this, right? But he's a message man. Right? I've come to respect this young man. I've known him for a few years, and he's one of the founder leaders of the community. So let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Pastor
Mr.
Wayne
Pastor,
Brew.
Dr. Brew.
Dr. Pastor.
All things Brew.
All things.
Thank you. Hey, everybody, you just heard why. Why 4E? Why not one company? Because what I'm going to show you, you can do in one company. Why do it with 4E? Because the very thing that Chris described, where your friends see you this month in one thing and next month in another thing, what if 4E becomes that shield? Where if a company has to change, you are still one company called 4E, one community. I like to refer to us, we're a community, okay? What they just described is why. Because of the industry, but more than just the industry, people need income. And people are looking for more hard work. Are you looking for more hard work?
No.
Since I can show you something easy, and it's so easy, it may bother you a minute because it's so easy, because you gotta think, it's gotta be harder than that.
Come on.
It's gotta be harder than that. It can't be as easy as I'm gonna purchase my membership and bring 2 people. And they're gonna purchase a membership. And they're gonna bring 2 people that purchase a membership. And that combination of everyone simply purchase a membership and bringing 2 is gonna make everybody financially free. Okay, I'm done. No, because it's actually that simple.
Right.
Now my wife will explain how the numbers actually work. I'm not gonna do that. This vision, at least the part I get to carry, it's about financial freedom. It's about getting all that stuff taken care of. And it's so simple that if you study it too long and try to explain it too well, the reason for even us capturing it on film tonight is because you tried to explain it. You've tried. That's why we're doing it. So you don't have to explain it, just press play. Okay? Because it is as simple as, now, I'm going to go off. Oh, there it is. Okay. You enter in, when you come into 4E, now let my wife, I got to let her explain what happens, how the money actually moves. The discovery that was granted to me, because I'm not, these men, I appreciate them so much. They've got tremendous work ethics and they understand the industry. I wasn't. I was a traditional business owner and a pastor. I didn't even believe in the industry. But I got a divine download. And what I got, it's so simple. And I like, in one meeting, Lewis called it, it's the building block, it's the foundation. You and 2 people. They use the word team, your community, your subdivision in the community, your street in the community, your team, it's 2 people. And they bring 2 people. Everyone just brings 2 people. Now in the industry, you know what they call that? They call that team commissions. One company, they talk about 8 ways of making money, but the way you make money, you make wealth, one of them was called team commission.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. If, and I say if because this is based on you. I got to tell you right now, there are computers sitting there waiting for us to do this thing called, you make a purchase and bring your 2 and they're going to pay. They bring their 2, they're going to pay again and pay again. I can show it all laid out, but you just have to trust. Anyone who's ever done the industry understands that there's something about when people make a purchase, somebody else gets paid. But if you organize those purchases, and this is what it looks like. This is your building block. That's you. You bring 2. And how many do your 2 bring? 2. Everybody do that, and it sets up what the industry calls team commissions. But what it sets up is, when everyone does that, it sets up thousands of dollars in weekly residual incomes when people just do this. Now, 4E's gonna work to put you into 4, but we're talking 2 right now. Right now we're in phase 1, which is dealing with 2 streams of income. Because when you build this right, and when I say build, It's two people. It's two people, watch this, I gotta say, that trust you, that are trustworthy. I'm a college student, high school student, 18, professional, doctor, lawyer. It's not how skilled you are. Anybody can do this if you know two people that trust you. I'm not sensing the belief here.
All right.
Okay, you need to tell me, because what I'm describing is math. Those two, when those two make a purchase, that person gets paid. These two make a purchase, that person gets paid, he gets half a pay. You follow me? But when you do it all together, you get a very strong, consistent income. Anybody want simple money?
Yes.
This is it. Do you know two people that trust you that are trustworthy? Because they need two people that trust them that are trustworthy. I know they didn't know I was going to bring that up. That's my safety. I'm a whiteboard guy. Okay, I appreciate this, but it's you and two people. Everybody do that. Okay. Now here's the other. Since the computers are waiting for us to execute purchases, the faster you do this, I'll let my wife share the numbers, but the faster you do this, the faster you're in income. If you have to over-explain it, they may not trust you. That's all. They just may not trust you. Do you trust math? Because what we're talking about here is mathematics. If those two make a purchase, that one gets paid. That's the math that's in the computer. How about, since for Eden's here, to be a bridge and move you into those streams, okay? Two streams in this current model. You have two streams of income by simply bringing two people that bring two people that bring two people. Two streams of income. Further as it extends, we're talking about multiple thousands of dollars weekly. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. It's about freedom. And someone can try to make it harder than that, but that's it. I'm out of time. I'm out of time. I'm done. I'm overtime because I can't make it harder than that. I can't make it easier. I can't make it harder. It's two people that trust you, that are trustworthy, that'll do the same thing. And here's it. Do it fast. If you do this slow, you create a bill. If you do it quickly, you create an income. Okay? I like to introduce my wife of a whole bunch of years. But I can't tell you how many because I'll give away our age. My precious darling wife, Carol.
You know, like he said, there really isn't much else to say. But using this diagram that we have here, you know, they always say, I'm going to tell the numbers. You know, I can only give so many numbers because if I tell you all of the numbers, you won't believe us. And we said we want you to trust us. So, you know, sometimes we're not trying to paint pie in the sky or anything like that. We're talking about reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, even if people don't want to admit it, how many here need extra income? Okay. Everybody needs extra income. But the key is, what are you willing to do for it? Now, if you don't want to do anything for it, we have a nice shiny box that you can just purchase from somebody and watch TV. But if you do want to do something, that box becomes a bonus for you. So what it is, what we are creating, we are developing a community of like-minded people. Everyone is doing the same thing. Now, the direct selling industry, some people love it, some people hate it. But one thing all of those people have in common, they need money and they like money. Okay, so that's the leveling field. But what we're doing in Fort Eden, we can't take all of the risk out of anything. We can't make you promises that a company's never going to fail or your people are going to do what they're supposed to do. We can't make that promise. But we can present to you a system that is easy enough for everyone to do. So what we've developed, it is something that you just need two people. Everybody knows two people. And now when I say two people, I don't mean two people that are like in your grandmother that's in an old age home, senior citizen facility. You know, I'm talking about two people who do something. Because we are working as a community. If one person doesn't become successful, none of us become successful. So when you bring your two people, you are taking responsibility for them. And your responsibility is you're going to make sure they get there too. That's all we have to do. If everyone just does that, life becomes a wonderful thing financially. Okay? So the cost to get in to become a member of the Fort Eden community is a mere $249. I say mere because I got something in the mail last week that was $3,000 to join. So $249 is a wonderful price. Okay. So what happens for your $249? That means you are now a member of the Fort Eden community. You are going to be placed into company number 1. Now keep in mind, part of Fort Eden's strategy is we love all the companies, we love all the product. How can I say this tactfully? But we're not necessarily company loyal. We're going to be as loyal to them as they are to us. Okay? We're going to use their product. We're going to share their product. We might sell their product. But if they're not treating us right, because we are not sold out to one company,
Right.
we just move to another company. Or if we're already in 3 others, doesn't really matter if one started acting crazy. Because what Fort Eden will do, if a company is not fulfilling its obligations, we will then find another company to replace them with. So that's how the process goes. So you pay your $249, you become part of Fort Eden, you get into company number 1. Once you are in company number 1, now your assignment as part of the community, you're going to share it with 2 other people, as some of you sitting here tonight have done. So when your 2 other people do the same exact thing, it's going to cost them the same exact price, $249. They're going to get 2 people eventually, but once you get 2 people who pay their $299, so Kim and Tony,
$249.
$249, thank you. He's like, when it go up? No. so when the 2 people come in and they pay their $249, great things start to happen. Number 1 is you've just earned $100. You can be in some companies and it could be a long time before you earn $100. But when your 2 come in, you have just earned $100 and something else wonderful happens. That little black box that was over there, that is a TV streaming box. And for Eden, you will get that as a bonus. Some companies are selling that same exact streaming box for $349. But when you get your 2, you're going to have it sent to you from Fort Eden saying, thank you for getting your 2. Now, if that's all everyone does, the plan takes care of itself. So after you get your 2, so what are you going to do? You don't need any more people to earn in Fort Eden, because Fort Eden is positioning you into companies that are going to compensate you. So we've looked for companies where that compensation plan, that strategy, that structure will produce income for you. So now you're going to go out and you're going to talk to your 2 and they're going to get 2. That's the 4 here. Once this is complete, 2 and 4, you really are done with having to do anything with Fort Eden. But of course you're going to want to share it with more people as you earn, but you're not obligated at that point. So of course everyone just does that, just gets their 2 people. Now when that happens, you're going to earn in company number 1, plus Fort Eden is now going to put you into your second company. So for a one-time price of $249, you earned $100 for your first commission. You got a bonus of a TV streaming box that's valued at $349. You got $60 from your second, from company number 1 as a commission, and you got placed in the company number 2. There is no company, no system out there that you're going to pay one time, and now that company or community is going to pay for you to get into other companies. So you're not paying to get into these companies. Fort Eden is paying for you to get into these 4 companies in time. Right now we're focusing on 2. 2 being the easiest number that everyone can accomplish. Because our goal is, what can everyone do? Not everyone can just run out and get 4 people, but everyone can get 2 people if they put their effort towards it. Now the best way to do it, as my husband said, is quickly. Because if you do it too slowly, all you're going to do is a bill, because you are going to have a monthly with each company you go into. And so rather than creating a bill, we want you to create residual income. So the quicker you get your 2, you get $100. As soon as they get their 2, you just earn $60. When they get their 2, the system now is kicking in. So the money really takes care of itself. The key is everyone just getting 2. That is all you have to focus on. Now this here is when we're gonna go into our next phase, when you're gonna end up getting into 2 more companies. But right now, we're just sticking to the 2. Everyone just getting 2. If you had 4, 4 is what you're gonna need to qualify to complete all 4 phases. But right now, we are just sticking with 2 people getting 2 people. Now, the beginning of November, we will be entering into company number 2, and that will be for the people who have their 2, who brought 2. So right now, everyone should just focus on, do I have my 2? Okay, I have my 2. Let me make sure my 2 have their 2. So that way, when the first week in November rolls around, I will qualify to go into company number 2. But I don't want to be the only one qualifying. I want my people qualifying. So if everyone just duplicates 2 who have 2, and you're through. And I mean, that is really the simplicity of it. Now, with our program, keep in mind, the goal is to have you having multiple streams of income. So company number 1 pays using, Pastor Wall's not here, so I can't use him. They pay using a debit card. So you'll be able to move your money. When you see money in your back office, you get to move it onto your debit card, okay? Company number 2 probably pays with a check. So in time, you'll get into company number 3, then company number 4. But you're gonna be getting paid from all of these companies. If you just do your part, which right now is get 2. So just having 2 people who get their 2 will qualify you to be in 2 companies. So you'll get paid on a card from one company, and then the other company, you'll get paid through a check. And that is it. I mean, that is really it. You are not paying to enter in to the companies. For Eden is paying that for you. Now, by the time you pay your monthly, hopefully you did it fast enough so that the monies that you pay are just coming out of your pocket. I'm not coming out of your pocket. It's coming out of earnings that you made from that individual company. And that's the simplicity. We have, like, right now to get into company number 1. Each one of you can go join company number 1 on your own. They're going up on their price come November 1st. It will probably cost you between $250 and $260 to join company number 1 at this point. Now, how much did I say it costs to join for Eden? $249. And you won't be limited to 1 company. So you're going to get into that same company that now is going to cost more than what it costs to get into Fort Eden. But you'll be in. And as soon as you get your 2, you're going to have a box plus $100. You know, as soon as they get there too, you're going to end up in your second company, which has a whole I'll say set of benefits to us from being a part of a group of Fort Eden entering into that company. Keep in mind, all of the companies we're going into, they're good companies, they're viable companies, but we don't control the companies. We don't know when a company is going to sell. We don't know when a company owner could die, and maybe their family doesn't want to keep it going and they shut it down. We have no control over that. But we have control over our efforts, which is getting 2 people. We just stick to that. We will then end up earning money quickly. Because like I said, company number 1, you move that money right onto your card as soon as you see it. And you have your card, you just move it. So that means now you have money. You can take that money, do whatever you want to do with it. Company number 2, they come on board. You don't have to develop any more people. You got your 2. You're already qualified in company number 2. So your people that you enroll personally, they will follow you in each company. So once you get your 2, you got your 2 and you're done. When it comes to the phase of going to the other companies, it will take 2 more people. But let's say you never got 2 more people, but you're still earning in 2 streams of income. That's more than most people are doing in the 1 company that they sold out to. Because most people, they get involved in a company and they're sold out to it. You know, there's nothing greater than this product. You know, nothing greater than the leadership. Now, and they might not be making a dime, but they're sold out to that company. See, we're not. In that regard, as long as they're paying us, we'll be very enthusiastic and we'll be very supportive. But as soon as they do something differently than what they've said, we just take our group and move it to another company. So for Eden is a community that is utilizing the direct selling industry as a means by which all of us can sustain a very lucrative income and not limit it to one company.
Yes.
When you join a company, a direct selling company, you are limited to that one company in most cases. We're not. We're doing this as a community. It's gonna go viral. People can do this. We're, of course, in the US, but company number one, for the most part, is worldwide. Different companies will have different limitations on the countries you can do it in, but right now, that's the least of your concern. Is get your two people and help your two. Because you will not be successful unless you help your two people become successful. And if all of us take on that mindset and all of us are here to help each other, like Pastor Dave is one of my two. I have to make sure Pastor Dave is going to be successful. Now, Pastor Dave's not someone you got to really worry about, but I have some other people. They're not quite like Pastor Dave, but so it's my job to help them become successful. Because I will only be successful if they become successful. And that's the bottom line. Two, who bring two, you're making lots of money. You'll have it by Christmas. Christmas is right around the corner. A lot of people are going to start asking you a lot of stuff.
What kind of money could be made if everyone brought their two people in a week?
Okay, if everyone brought their two people in a week, that would consist of a level being complete a week. So with company number one, that all of these numbers that you're gonna see here are based on 4 people. So in company number one, you would have earned $100 when you get your two. When the second level, that's when the 4 comes in, you would actually earn $60. And level 3, now I know it sounds low, but it's really not. No, level 3, you would have earned another 60. Level 4, you would have earned 180. Level 5, you would have earned 300. And then level 6 from there would have gone to 600. The next level would have gone to 1,200. The level after that is 2,500. So it just keeps doubling. But keep in mind, our goal is to get you to eventually to 4, if possible. But so these numbers here, what you would do in 6 levels here, it takes 12 levels when you're doing it by 2, because this is by 4. But the money is still available, whether you did it at 2 or you did it at 4. Now there would be other criteria you would have to meet in company number one to reach that, but how's $12,000 a week in company number one, just with 2 people? How's that sound?
That's
very
real good.
Very good.
Now company number 2, if you have just 2 people, it is like beyond that. So the key is, as each level goes in, you're going to be earning money. The quicker they do it, now we could take, so that would, with what my husband said, that would have represented to, let's say level 5 would take 10 levels, everyone just bringing 2 people. You would earn $10,000 and 10 levels. Everyone brings 2. So that means if they did it in a week, that would be 10 weeks. 10 weeks is 2.5 months, just in time for Christmas. Doesn't that sound good? But
Yeah.
let's say you could get your 2 people in 72 hours. You have just now cut that 10-week process into 5 weeks. So now you're at $10,000 in 5 weeks, right in time for Thanksgiving. Okay? If you could do it in a day, that would be a 10-day process. If everyone got their 2 people in a day, that 10,000 would be at 10 days. Now that's extreme, okay? But I'm just telling you, so you get to move as quickly or slowly as you want. It's totally up to you. I don't expect anyone to do that in a day, but if you can, please let me sign you up. But everyone just needs to. We're not recommending anyone do more than that. So what we want to bring to the table, everyone dreaming again. I was sharing at church, what's today, Tuesday. I was sharing at church on Sunday. See, part of the problem with a lot of people, I believe, we bought this bill of goods that everyone's in lack. There was a wedding that cost $43 million 2 weeks ago. $43 million on a wedding. So if someone spent $43 million on a wedding, that tells me they had to have more than $43 million.
I know it's
So you
true.
don't spend all your money on that one event. So it's not that there's a lack of money in the world. We just aren't those that have all of that money. So we're not trying to make anyone rich. We're trying to make everyone reach a level in their lives where they are financially secure, because rich is different to each person. But if all of your bills are paid, that for the average American,
I hear you.
that is just an extra $300 a month.
Wow.
Amen.
But we're above average, right? See, 300 a month, that might not do it for me. Okay. But the average American just needs an extra 300 a month. So we can do that with no problem. So we're here to help the everyday person. We're not looking for the mega superstars and direct selling who did whatever. We're looking for the everyday person who needs extra income in their pocket to make a substantial change in their life today, because that's the person that can get two people who knows two people who really need it. Who knows two people that really need it. And that's all it is. So we're going to start dreaming again. Fort Eden is a place for you to experience every desire you've ever had, that most of us have laid down because you're too busy trying to make ends meet. We want you to, that's out of the way, and now you get to be a blessing to those you want to be a blessing to. You get to go where you want to go. I always joke and say, to me, the Fort Eden lifestyle means you go to bed when you go to bed. You want to go to bed. You get up when you want to get up. You travel when you want to travel. You live where you want to live. You drive what you want to drive. If you're wanting into eating out, you go eat where you want to eat. You get to do what you want to do for a change, instead of what circumstances and what your pocketbook dictates you can do.
I feel you.
But most of us here, but that's real life. That is where people are. But most of us here, we really want to help other people, because we all know people who need the extra help. And so that's what we're here for. Fort Eden is here for you, and you are Fort Eden. Isn't that beautiful? This isn't about a company. Fort Eden is a community, and we are the community. That's it. That's it. All right.
All right, well, we'll be back here next week.